and then the shootouts.
It's exact, and you could do the whole thing as a stage play.
We'll leave out some elements. We'll focus more on the gunfighters.
Right.
Oh, we'll just cast.
We won't do much of the flashback stuff.
Yeah, we don't need that.
No.
Because her character is pretty interesting with Sharon Stone because she was very Clint Eastwood at first, but then she had moments where she kind of just was, I'm out.
Even to like the cigars she was smoking was the same cigars that Eastwood smoked on Fistful of Dollars.
And then she just kind of ducked out. And then she came back. And then she won the gunfight at the end. I'm kind of thinking, shouldn't she just been able to gunfight him in the beginning?
Yeah, but again, they had to give Russell Crowe something to do. Like, Russell Crowe was a weird leading man in this.
Yeah.
And he spent the whole movie chained up to like a fountain, but was thirsty.
Dropping water.
Just dropping water. And he was just getting beat up all the time. So he was like, but he was the superior gunfighter. Like, I think if he was healthy, he could have beat Sharon Stone and Gene Hackman.
Yeah, he did Doc Holliday him.
Right, but Gene Hackman, she kept changing the rules.
That was kind of crappy, but people were killing each other in the beginning anyway. But now you just had to kill somebody.
Exactly.
That was pretty...
It's a bizarre concept.
The amount of money, though, in this movie, though, you're winning millions.
Oh, huge money. Like game change, life is forever different money.
Yeah, you're set for life.
Yeah.
But the money was different in this one because... There's a scene where Leo DiCaprio charged like $140 for a gun, and I did the math, and that ended up being like, so if you bought that same gun, which isn't nearly the price, it would have been about $2,500.
Right. I
mean, which is way too much for that kind of gun. So maybe the currency in this world is a little different.
Well, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think in the Wild Wild West, a nice gun was a game changer, and it was a luxury item. So he sold that old rusty gun for $5. So you could afford a gun, but to get a nickel-plated, ivory-handled, like showpiece gun, it's like if I was to go, if you were like, hey Adam, I want to learn how to play the guitar. How much I need to spend on a guitar? I could say, well, Mark, like if you want to get something that's good and stays in tune and like could be a forever instrument, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, you could go and spend, $500 to $700, and we can get you a guitar that plays nice and it's great. Or you could get a custom shop, hand built. Any of the big companies do it for like $6,000, but that's like an indulgence. So I think the guns he was showing him at first were like custom made indulgences.
And then he gave him the $5 one.
Then he gave him the $5 one. And one bullet. I loved that.
But to get Ivory out there at that time,
right,
to redemption, that would have been pretty tough.
Yeah, it makes me sad anytime anybody says Ivory, because it means an elephant died.
Yep. Well, they didn't care back then. They were just everybody was wiping things out back then.
Right. When my great grandfather passed away, I got his mandolin, which is a 1918 Martin mandolin I got, and it has ivory tuning pegs. And I was like, an elephant died so I could play bluegrass.
So you play Blink-182 covers?
That's right, exactly, on my mandolin. But yeah, so there, it was a lot of money, game-changing money, but it wasn't a focus. Like in Maverick, it's always about like who's got the money and who's stealing the money and what's going on. They mentioned the money, and then very quickly it just became about everybody's grudges and the level of grudge they had.
Yep, and you could pick your contestant. That added some that was pretty fun. I like that element of it.
Absolutely. No, that was great.
All right, so basically the rules of this tournament. There's 16 people, and let's say someone challenges you, right? And you win. That means you're down to the round of 8. You can't get challenged again by someone who hasn't fought yet.
Right, exactly. Okay. You can't do a bunch of first round fights.
Got it. Because that'd be a pain in the butt. I'd quit.
Right. So when we run MMF Con, which will be a convention based on all of our podcasts, so we'll get guests to come and we'll do the whole thing. We'll run like a Nerf Quick and the Dead shootout contest that day.
I love it. So no stepping. They just stare at each other, then we'll click it down, and then they nerf.
Right. And then they nerf. Boom.
We got to get some legit Nerf guns though.
Yeah.
Look, we got to get the equivalent of that gun Leo was selling, and we got to put masks on people because I don't want to get sued.
No, you got to cover the eyes up. Yeah. No, we'll take all the safety precautions for sure, but also we'll get people to sign waivers, right?
Yeah, true. I definitely, get them to do that. Put some glasses on them. I just don't want our first MFF show to be lawsuited,
No, we want that to happen on number 5 when we've got a little bit of revenue coming in that we can cover the high lawyer cost it's going to be.
We can cut and run.
Right. When someone gets food poisoning now they're not going to get it because of us.
Yeah.
But they're going to blame it on the Hal Tucker burger, which is not what gave them the food poisoning.
No.
We got to be able to support that.
Like, they'll eat the burger, then they'll immediately say they had food poisoning, when in fact it takes hours.
Right. But we're going to wait until number 5, MFF Con 5, because I feel at that point we'll have enough traction that we can get, Stallone.
Yes.
And Rooker to come and make the burgers themselves.
Oh my! And then a Q&A while they're making burgers.
Yeah.
No, your autograph is the burger they make.
Yes.
Oh my god! And then you get to wrestle with Sean Astin.
Oh yeah, you sure do.
Like an ice.
You sure do. Yeah.
I just saw your smile, and we're thousands of miles apart here.
Yeah, no. When you said wrestle Sean Astin, I just we'll have a high school wrestling mat on the floor.
Yep.
Him in a singlet. And Bruce Campbell as the ref.
In a jacket. Like he's in his icebreaker gear.
The puffy jacket.
Yeah, the puffy jacket. Wait, we can't sell this to Sean. So if we say, hey man, we're just going to wrestle with you in your icebreaker gear, he'll never go with this. But maybe if we did that sumo wrestling thing, and then people could film it, but we would charge a lot. So it wouldn't just be like Sean Astin's sumo wrestling people for $20 a pop. I mean, these are big, $200 for, 3 minutes. Well, 3 minutes is way too much for a minute.
Well, what if we did this? What if we recreated the scene, the kitchen, and then for a lot of money, Sean Astin will reenact the scene with you, so you can take home a clip of you in Icebreaker, as if you were playing the henchman.
Yes, thousands of dollars though, because we've got to reset every time.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. The MFF con is not for the skimp in the wallet.
Yeah,
like, you're gonna save for a few years to come to the MFF con.
What if we did this, where, okay, we're not charging a cover to get in, but we take a cut from everyone who sells? Yeah. Because that means we're getting more people coming in because it's free. And then they're making more, so we'll take a cut from them.
Right. And the whole thing ends with a hockey game where we play with Rob Lowe against other guests.
And can we get Keanu?
Oh, for sure. For sure we're going to get Keanu.
Good. And then, whoa, Tom Hardy. You each get your own lobster tanks from Venom. Yes. That's one of our other episodes. And you get to dive for lobsters with Tom Hardy.
Yep. See, this is the kind of stuff that's going to make our con different than the rest. It's going to be more like everything. There's not going to be many booths selling things. Like, we're not going to sell a lot of things. We're going to sell experiences.
Well,
it's going to be the most tweeted.
Things.
Right. Like, we'll have a booth selling merch.
T-shirts, pins, stickers, quotes. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. DVD copies of Sharks in Sweden.
Yep. We'll film, and then after our 15th show, we'll have enough money to make it.
Yeah.
Then we'll be producers.
Absolutely.
Not just associate producers.
No, we'll be the real deal.
Executive.
But we could do a panel with the actors from Sharks in Sweden for the first show and just talk about it.
Yeah, I think that would be great. And but we pay them enough for them to be in on it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, it's going to be an experience all around. And the first one's going to go over because again, we do this out of love for these movies. Like, we talked about Knight Riders because I love Knight Riders. I didn't want to make fun of a movie. I wanted to talk about how much I loved it. So when when our guests see that we genuinely love what they're doing, they're gonna want to come back every year. And
people are gonna, hey, it's a free show.
Yeah.
People spending money.
To be packed.
You know how much merch we'll sell?
So much merch.
Mountain Burger. We have so many good quips that we got to use.
Know what we should do? What? Like, you know how there's the meme where it's like, change my mind?
Yeah.
We'll have Megan at a booth saying Chris Pine is better than Chris Evans, change my mind. And she will sit there all day and just argue with people who think Evans is better. And if it's a bad argument, she'll just go no. Right. And that'll infuriate people. But if they actually bring up something good, she'll be like, say more, and then go no. Right. And then her ultimate beatdown, she just says the word cellular. Yep. Hell or high water. And then they're like sunshine. And she's like, that was an anomaly. Right. That was a blip. Yep. On the radar screen. The Snowpiercer. It wasn't about Evans. It was about the director. Right. A perfect score. We are not talking about The Quick and the Dead at all right now. Now, I want to. There's a few things I want to talk about in this movie that we really need to cover. And okay, so in this movie, Gene Hackman has his crew, and
they're these guys in black coats. They're basically the enforcers.
Right.
What do they do?
Whatever Gene Hackman tells them to do.
So they just does he travel? He must travel a lot, right? So they travel with him?
Yeah, it's a redundancy because he's the fastest gunfighter in the West. So what are these guys going to bring to the table?
And
it's like Superman having armed guards.
So for me, okay, and at the end, right? Superman, yeah. For me, at the end, Russell Crowe kills his enforcers with 5 bullets easily.
Yeah.
So then I wondered, why'd they have to blow up half the town when he could have just done that the entire time?
Yeah, I think it was the element of surprise.
He could have gotten with Cantrell, right?
Well, yeah, I think the only reason they did it was just to throw Gene Hackman off his game.
Oh, okay.
Because he was so lethal, they had to distract that guy, and then they could kill everybody else, no problem.
Those guys got Boba Fetted.
They got Boba Fetted.
His enforcers, they just got wiped out.
Yeah.
And, okay, so the one note in this movie that I did write dumb is when, so Sharon Stone is facing off against Russell Crowe, he shoots her and she supposedly dies. There's some blood, she's dead. But at the end, when he's like, I thought you died. But then you see this kid smiling and pouring out red liquid.
Right.
And you're kind of thinking, were we supposed to have forgotten that she had red liquid 3 minutes ago on her?
I think so. Well, here's the thing that you need to tell the story sometimes to the lowest common denominator. And I've been in movies watching with people and they're like, wait, where'd the blood come from? And you gotta be like, oh no, like the kid sold ink in his like bargain basement of stuff he sold. Like, you know what I mean? Like there are some people that need explaining to them. Mm-hmm. And so I think that it was just that. Like I didn't love it. I wouldn't have done it. But I understand why it happened. The moment that for me, and I didn't say dumb, but I said, was in the beginning, Sharon Stone walks into the bar and Pat Hingle's on a stool putting some stuff away. And she says, I'd like a drink. And he just says to her, whores in the back. Yeah. And then she goes, no, I want a drink. And he says,
next doors.
Yeah, whores next doors. And then she kicks the stool out from underneath him. He falls. She catches the bottle, does like a flip, and then he ends up sitting on a stool. And I said, that reminded me a lot of the Spider-Man jazz dance from Spider-Man 3.
Oh, and you're not happy to be reminded of that?
Well, I was just like, Sam Raimi maybe going to the basket. One like thought we'd forgotten about Quick and the Dead, but it was kind of the same. Remember he just like the stool moves and stuff?
Now, to be fair, how many people pick up on that reference?
Me, and then you'll notice it the next time you watch it.
So I want to be at a convention with Sam Raimi, and I want you to bring that up to him during the Q&A.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. And what I'll do is I will ask him several questions, but I'll put different disguises on based on all the different gunfighters so I'll do like Scar one time. I'll put Lance Henriksen's hat on one time. You know, I'll do them all. Yeah. Cause there was some neat, and I found there was a few different, guys who like kept score different ways on how many people they've killed.
Cut their arms.
Cut their arm or put another ace card in the deck. There's always all these like tallies of like, oh, these are the men I killed. I better keep track because that's something important to know. Yeah, I thought that was neat. But every one of the fighters was almost a larger than life character.
I love that about it. I loved all the introductions.
Oh yes,
Scar had the best one.
Lot. Yes, he did. He just walks in and that guy without explanation just leaves. Who I thought was Thomas Hayden Church at first, but it was not. And then Scar shoots him about 100 yards away. Yeah, that happened a couple times. When Gene Hackman shoots that guy at the end who's running away during the last gunfight, and then just tosses that rifle off screen, and you assume somebody catches it. It's my favorite moment. I also wonder why they keep running in straight lines when they could have just cut through the buildings. Well, because there's only so much like real estate that they built this town on. Like he could only run in a straight line because it was all just soundstage. Yeah, you're right. I did see that scene. I'm like, just zigzag a little bit. No? Yeah, bob and weave. Now, did you watch the version? Because there's two versions of this movie. What? One has a scene where Sharon Stone and Russell Crowe get intimate, and one doesn't. I didn't have that one. Okay, so it's awful because it's during this rainy night, and he's chained up in like a back room getting beaten up. And she goes to see him, and then they like start kissing and stuff. But all she's wearing is like wet, dirty leather, and he's chained up and bloody. And it's like it's very unappealing everything you're watching. And it doesn't go into graphically what's going on, but it gets enough that you're like, this is uncomfortable. Like, I don't